The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in more places that could expose you more to identity theft. But LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our US-based restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Don't face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or financial losses alone. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit lifelock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
Hi, we're sisters, Amy and Nancy Harrington, the founders of the Passionistas Project, an inclusive sisterhood where women find support, purpose, and empowerment. On each episode, we share the stories of passion-driven women who are breaking barriers and redefining success. Today, we're talking with Becca Shaw, your guide to all things spiritual. Dedicated to illuminating your path to true potential. With a compassionate approach and expertise in diverse healing modalities, she empowers clients through Akashic Records coaching, insightful divination readings, and holistic therapies. So please welcome Becca Shaw. We're so excited to have you here today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited.
So Becca, what are you most passionate about?
Oh, everything. Right now, though, I'd probably say that my favorite thing is Akashic Records. It has been for a while now, but just pretty much anything healing, anything empowerment based, anything magical. Magical is my thing for sure.
So let's ask, have you always been magical? Have you felt that even since you're a kid? Tell us about your childhood and where you grew up and everything.
Yeah, I've always been that magical, strange child that was down the bottom of the garden looking for fairies. Always, always, always. Yeah, I was lucky enough to have a mum that was very imaginative also, and she encouraged all of that, right? So, and growing up in England, I say like the veil was thin there. So like whether people realize or not, there's sort of like this between worlds, and this sort of like magic in the air. Even in like the most unusual places, you can kind of like take a step forward and you feel something. There's something different there. There's a different connection. There's a magic there. And so I was always into mythology and even like history and stuff like that. Anything that was old and ancient and the wisdom that you can find there and the adventures that were there. And yeah, so always when I was a child I was just, yeah, give me magic, give me unusual things, like let me look up at the stars, let me find secret places, and yeah, but just a huge imagination, a huge connection to the unseen. And yeah, and then that just kept developing, and I've always just loved learning as well. So always bring me new things to learn, and I'll just cram it all in, and I just want to discover more. So that's always been a lifelong thing for me.
Do you remember the first moment you had a connection with the other world, or with in between?
No, because it's always been there. So I can't actually pinpoint that. Like it's literally I've always had that
Mhm.
connection, I think. And I'm gonna go really out there and be like, even to like other lives and stuff, I've always been connected to that different place and those different realms and that unseen forces and stuff. I really believe that like even like my soul has always had that,
Yeah,
throughout lifetimes and adventures.
very cool.
That's so cool. So when you got out of school and it was time to like pick a career path or decide what you were going to do to, make money and live, what was that journey like? What did you decide to do?
Well, I'd done a lot of like massage and healing modalities. My mum really got me into that when I was maybe 8 or 9 years old. And so my mum always was telling people that's what she's going to do. That's what she's going to do. She's going to be a healer. She's going to be a massage therapist. She's going to be, just something in that realm. And so I rebelled. After school, I went traveling. I went and lived in Switzerland, and I was an au pair, so I looked after children, and I worked in everything like retail and tourism and all this stuff in England. And yeah, and I just really just was into everything and doing everything. And then one day I just thought I should just do what I love. And when I say one day, that wasn't like years and years, like it was 19. But I'd done like so much, right? In England, we finished school at like 16, right? So that's to get that a bit more understood, because I know some places in the world they're different ages. And so at 19, I decided, well, I might as well get qualified in what I enjoy. And so my first one was aromatherapy, and I got qualified in that. And then I did like holistic massage. And then the idea was, is because I had that base of holistic massage, I would just add sort of different modalities to it. So hot stones and reflexology and acupuncture, or acupressure, sorry, not acupuncture. And yeah, and just keep adding to those modalities. And then I expanded out and out and out and did Akashic Records, and I'd always done tarot and things. So I just started teaching tarot, and yeah, just kept building and building on all those things, and not stopping. I'm still not stopping.
So we want to dive deep into the Akashic Records because I don't think a lot of people know them. I didn't until we had a conversation with you a few weeks ago. So for listeners who don't know what that is, can you explain what that is? And especially to someone who might be curious but skeptical.
Yeah. So the Akashic Records is the idea that everybody has their very own library, like on another plane of existence or whatever you want to believe. And in this library, it holds everything that your soul has ever done and ever could do. That includes past lives, future selves, all of that as well. So it's got all of the good things, all the bad things. It's got your blocks, your traumas, your happiness, your life mission, everything. And the idea with the Akashic Records is you can go into your records and you can find out what these things are. You can heal, you can break soul contracts, you can overcome fears and release burdens, and just unlimited stuff. And up there you have like the librarians and the Akashic Records guides and things. So they can help you navigate within there. So what a lot of people will do when they do Akashic Records readings is they'll do it like a psychic medium kind of thing. And so I'll be like, okay, Amy, I'm in your records, or okay, Nancy, I'm in your records, and this is what I see, this is what your guides are telling me, this is what you need to do. So kind of like, again, psychic medium or like a tarot reader or something like that, where I'm translating for you and telling you. But the way that I do it is I do it like a coaching session. So like a life coaching or some kind of talking therapy type thing. And I take you into your records with me. So I energetically hold your hand and I take you up there. And my job isn't to say, this is what it is, this is what you need to do. My job is to coach you up there and to say, well, what do you see here and what's going on here and what does that mean, and try to get you to understand and communicate with your guides and see the things that are going on and why they happened and what that lesson is, how to overcome it, and do it for yourself. And I'm obviously up there and I'm chatting with your guides too, and I'm getting the behind the scenes stuff, or I'm helping you if you're struggling. But the whole point is for you to say, oh, I understand, and this is what I need to do. And it's that empowerment thing. So that way as well, I'm teaching you how to go into your records. So you don't need somebody like me. You can go into your records for yourself in the future and have this huge, vast toolbox for you to just go into whenever you need anything, from a mundane thing to a life-changing question. You can go in and you can ask exactly what you need to know. And it's again that empowerment piece.
And you talk about
I'm picturing what's the bank in Harry Potter?
Gringotts.
Yeah, I'm picturing Gringotts in my mind and going through and looking.
I was picturing the Oxford Library, one of the cool libraries at Oxford University. I have to say, you talk about your energy. If people are only listening and not watching, like my face hurts after 11 minutes of talking to you. Like your smile and your energy are so incredible. Like I feel like my face is going to break open from smiling. It's like in such a good way. Like Becca is lovely, and if you're not picking it up in audio, which I'd be shocked, like check out the video because you will feel the vibrations coming off of Becca. So I think a lot of people think like, well, I don't have the power to do that kind of thing. Like, how do I tap? Like you're saying, you can help people learn how to access that information on their own. And I think there are a lot of people who are like, I could never do that. I can go to someone who can read tarot for me or who can channel, people, spirits, but how do I tap into that? So do you believe that anybody is capable of accessing that level of energy?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have clients that are super spiritual, super religious, atheists, everything in between. And they all have the exact same amount of success and answers. So obviously an atheist doesn't believe that it's this magical library on another realm. They believe it's their subconscious, and that's fine too. We work with whatever it is that you want to believe. Ancestors come in, gods or angels or whatever can come in, and we just go with that because it's not so much what it is, it's more the interpretation, right? And that's the best way for people to look at it. The way that I would suggest for people who want to explore it is I say it's always personal preference. Of course, you can have someone like myself, you can have someone doing it for you, or someone like me that coaches you and takes you there. You can also find videos on like YouTube or places like that that do guided meditations, and you can just learn to do it for yourself. So, sit down, lie down, and do it for yourself. And it's very much what do you need? How do you do it? And so you can kind of maybe tap into how do you like to do meditation, for example? Do you like to do it by yourself and just, candles or crystals, or just sitting down and meditate for yourself? Do you like to do it in a group of people with an instructor or a one-on-one instructor who's actually guiding you through a personalized meditation? Or do you like to listen on YouTube? Like, do you like to go in and just go along this kind of sort of journey that's pre-made for you? And yeah, and then that's what you kind of can decide, and you can do different things. So I have clients that are very capable of going into their own records and have done for years, but on the important questions, they come to me and they say like, can we go up together? Because I need a second opinion. I need to make sure that I'm not making it up, right? I'm not sort of getting the wrong answer in here. And then we go up together and I help them through that. But for the majority of the time, they can go in for themselves.
Cool.
Do you have to do anything special to prepare yourself energetically, mentally, spiritually to go into someone's records with them?
So for me, at the beginning, yes, I did. I had to sort of, it was more sort of like a belief thing or a worthiness thing or something, like who am I to go in and help people with this kind of thing, or a belief in my own, like, am I making it up? And how am I, is this really real? And am I actually helping anybody? So I would do a lot of stuff with that. But otherwise, like now, it's just such a natural thing anyway. Even from the beginning, it was such a natural thing that I can literally just jump in and out. So I'll be there with a pen and paper and making notes, and I just jump in and out as we're going along. And it's like effortless. It's like this, almost like watching a TV, right? Watching a movie or something, and being on your phone at the same time. You're kind of like you're in both things. And yeah, so I do have like some crystals that I use, like just I don't know if I actually need them,
Mhm.
but it's just I'd use them now. So like I'll like be rubbing my super seven as I'm going in and helping people. And like at the beginning, I will get my selenite stick and I will, sort of like cleanse us as we go in and stuff like that. But I don't think I actually need them to do it. It's part of the ritual, I guess, of like the performance in a way. And it's like a way of me feeling like I'm going into like the zone more professionally.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't need to do anything. And just like my clients wouldn't need to either. Like they don't need to fast, they don't need to, you know, have loads of water beforehand or anything. In fact, don't, because then you need to keep going to pee, which I've had that as well. Someone's like, I drank loads of water before I came in and now I need to keep peeing. And they literally went and peed like 5 times in the hour and a half. So, yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Do you find that people come to you with common themes or topics that they want to explore?
Usually it's to do with money or abundance in general, or relationships, whether that's romantic or, their family, like their children or their mother or something. And a lot of people come for career. But sometimes they come to me with a certain question, and when we're in there, we actually discover that there's something else the guides want to talk about that they didn't even think that they could ask or didn't even think to ask, right? So it's very, very free up there. Like you can go up and it's just kind of like, let's just explore and see what I need to know at this time. And we can just, meander around the records and chat with the guides and see what exactly they want to go into. But those are probably my main ones, the relationship, even like career, in the fact that it can be either an entrepreneur or it's actually like an employed person going up the ranks or whatever it is. Also to point out as well with the business, it actually gets really interesting because your business has its own Akashic records as well, separate from your own. So your business, we can go into that one, especially if you're an entrepreneur, like you can go into your business records. If you've got more than one business as well, there's a different business for each one, different records for each business. And you go into there and you find out, any problems or issues or blocks with the business and any advice from your business guides and stuff like that. And then you can go into your personal ones and work through any blocks that you might have, any abundance blocks that you're having. So like you're not actually generating the money because you've got a block in there about money, or imposter syndrome or something like that. Oh, sorry. So yeah, so it's really, really incredible.
Wow, that's so fascinating.
Really fascinating. So you said that the guides sometimes offer up information that you weren't expecting. Do you ever feel like there's times where there's limits to what they will reveal or that they're withholding something?
So whatever they tell you and show you is something that on a soul level, you're absolutely 100% ready to confront or to heal from or learn from or deal with and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes the person, like the human side of them, is saying like, no, I'm not ready for that, and that's fine. But there is times that you go up there, very, very rarely, where they say, no, you don't need to know that right now. We need to deal with this other thing that's much more important. But that's very, very rare. Even if they do that, they will still answer that question, even just if it's like, it's this, but you can't deal with that until you've done X, Y, and Z. So come back and we'll deal with that question once you've gone through all the other stuff that you need to do. So they're never going to withhold anything maliciously or because like they just fancy being mean to you that day. Like everything up there is in your own interest.
They're
So
not
if they yeah they're not gonna do anything out of spite. And likewise, if they offer you something to deal with and you're not ready, you're scared, or you just don't want to go there that day, they're not going to punish you for not doing that. They're not going to say, well, she didn't clear that block, so now like I'm going to give them all this bad luck, or give them loads of challenges now. It's like, okay, that's fine, like we'll give you another opportunity later, maybe in a different life, we'll give you another opportunity to deal with this. They're never going to do anything to hurt you or upset you. And and there is going to be upsetting things up there, but it's like this supportive bubble kind of thing. And because I'm there as well with you, I can be that extra support for you. But if you're doing it by yourself, you have your guides, you have your ancestors, you have everybody up there that you can call in to give you like an angelic hug and to hold your hand and walk you through it.
Yeah.
Do you work with people when they get, okay, I understand that's what I was up here for, and this is what I need to do. Do you then work with people to help them through the process of addressing what they've learned?
Yeah, so it's actually really good because lots of people think, oh, well, I'm gonna go in with a question and the first session's going to be, asking the question and being told, yeah, it's this, and then the next session's going to be discovering the root of it. The third one's going to be, possibly releasing it and blah, 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 and how many sessions is this going to take. But pretty much I'd say like 99% of the time, they're all done in that session. So literally we go in with your question, you get told what it is, you get shown it. So maybe you get taken back to a memory in this lifetime, past life, or that you just get told it. Then you can understand it, you learn the lessons, you can choose to release it or not, you can heal from it if you need healing from it. All of this stuff is all in the same session. And then they're like, okay, we have a bit more time. What else would you like to know? And some people, they go up and they can do 5 or 6 different questions in that hour and a half, 2 hours that we're together. It's incredible. So yeah, like there's not like this ongoing, like, come back and give me more money and we'll like sort out this one question. It's like, yeah, I mean, sometimes we go up and the entire time is taken up with one question, but it will be done for that session. Like, unless you say, I don't want to release it right now, which is fine, then it's not concluded in that session. But if you're willing to, it can all be done in that one session. It's really, really amazing. And then people feel the benefits either immediately, later that day, couple of days, maybe at the most a couple of weeks. It's really, really, really magical. That's why it's my favorite.
Wow. So when you say release, is that what you mean by releasing soul contracts?
So it can be soul contracts as well, yeah.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
The soul contracts, yeah. So soul contracts are the idea that before you were incarnated in this lifetime, you gave yourself a load of lovely tasks that you want to complete, like all these lessons that you want to learn, all the stuff that you want to explore, and when you learn them, you grow. Sometimes we either have chosen way too many, and that's a lot of people, or we have actually completed them in another lifetime. And for some reason, we just carried them over like a security blanket, and we're reliving all of those challenges and lessons, but we don't need them anymore because we've already done it in a previous lifetime. So you get the opportunity in places like the records to actually find out what that contract is. And if you've already completed it or you don't want to do it anymore, or, you can actually null and void it. You can rip it up, and we do like this, usually symbolic, ripping it up and throwing it in a fire. Sometimes it's a little bit different, but usually that's the process. And yeah, and it's just done. You've learnt your lesson, or you've decided that that was way too hard and what were you thinking, and you can get rid of it. And the guides will tell you why and how and what to do, and it's just really, really good. And you can also do soul contracts as well. So soul contracts would be with other people. So a group of you or two of you got together and said, hey, I really want to learn this lesson, and the other one's like, well, I want to be on the other side of that, and so, or I want to help you with that, or I want to be part of that with you. And so you have this soul contract together, and you can go and live out that, so you both learn and grow, or help each other learn and grow. And so that can be in the positive, that can be in the negative. So that's why sometimes we feel a connection with another soul, but they're not really in our lives anymore, but there's still that thing holding us together, and that's usually a soul contract that we haven't completely let go of yet. So again, we can get rid of that and move on. And especially if it was like not a pleasant relationship in this lifetime, we can actually take away for the rest of this lifetime any kind of attachment to that soul.
Wow.
Wow. My mind is blown.
I know.
I know, right?
Like I really thought I had heard all the different things, but this is I'm reeling. So can you think, I'm sure you've had so many incredible experiences doing this, but does anything stand out to you as this as particularly like surprising or profound that you've experienced while you're doing this work?
Oh, so many, because if I was just doing this for myself, I would not know most of the things that I know, because I'm going up with my clients or my friends. I'm actually experiencing and seeing and understanding from their souls, missions or experiences and stuff like that. So there's so many things that I'm learning that are just incredible to me. And probably like my favorite one ever was a client that in this lifetime she was very, very self-loathing and just didn't connect with herself. She even spoke of herself, like her body, in the third person. So she had a name for her body and it was completely separate from herself. And she told herself that she was ugly and fat and a loser and no good for nothing and all this kind of stuff. And really, really struggling. And then she came to me, and yeah, it took a long time, but she super grew and she found out all of the stuff in the records where she's first time on Earth. And this could be a bit out there for some people, but it's first time her soul's been on Earth. So before that, she was on other worlds or planes of existence and things, but this was her first time in the 3D, in this kind of like duality of like good and bad and dark and light and that kind of stuff. And so she really was struggling because her soul didn't really know what it was to be a human, or how to deal with these negatives. She was only used to the positives. And so she grew so much to now she's all through herself, nothing from my input, but from her own understandings in the record, she decided that her body was something to be loved and something to be cherished. And she did this whole kind of almost inner child work where she decided her body was like a child that she needed to look after and care for and tell it that it was loved and that it was, it was a good thing and it wasn't a terrible burden on her and all this stuff. And she did this amazing journey, like this whole like 180 of like growth and I'm not saying this was a really short period of time. Like I know you said, like in the records, we can do things in like a session, but her stuff was so many things all going into this one part that we had to really dissect it all. And so that took quite a while, but she's amazing now. She loves her job. She has loads of friends because didn't have friends so much when she was feeling awful before, and she's just loves her life now, and she understands where she came from and how to navigate in this world. And it's like just there's so many stories like that I've gone through, and they're like different places and different understandings and different self-imposed limitations that people put on and why, and it just gets so fascinating and so interesting to just watch or to see the real life changes, like the sort of the everyday changes, like people just completely change who they are and how they see the world through the things that they're learning in their records.
That's absolutely incredible. I have so many questions, and yet I'm like, my mind is blank because I'm just so blown away. Um, so is this a practice that you only do one-on-one, or is there a way to do it with a group or with a few people at a time?
Yeah, I prefer to do it one-on-one because we can actually pace it to you. So,
Mhm.
if something comes up during, and like my plan was to go this way, but then something comes up and it's like, oh no, let's go and explore that first. And we can really navigate and really personalize. But I can do it in groups. And that's kind of harder. People still get amazing results, don't get me wrong, but like have to kind of keep everybody, like with the meditation, you have to keep everybody going along the same path and giving them enough time, but not too much time. And so if something comes up for them, but we don't address it, then they don't really get the full understanding of it, perhaps. And so I can do that live, so with a group of people live online or in person, or I can do like recorded ones and put them up on like YouTube or what have you, and people can just listen to them whenever they want, and just that constant sort of doorway is open whenever they tap in, kind of thing. So it's really, really kind of cool the way that you can do that, and people do get a really good sort of connection even when we're doing it through a group thing, or even if it's not me live doing it to people, they can still connect really well. Likewise, when I do the one-on-one, I record it and then I give that to my clients and I tell them, just listen to the first little bit and then press stop, and you're in your records, and you can then close it the way that I've shown you how to close it. And then once you get used to it, you can actually do it for yourself, either the way that I do it or the way that your guides tell you to do it or whatever it is. And so people can access it in so many different ways. Again, whatever they feel more comfortable with, but there's something for the one-on-one for sure, or doing it by yourself, because you can go on that very personalized, very tailored, unique journey rather than having to go on this sort of group journey with everybody.
Wow. I'm feeling like with everything going on in the world right now, with things changing so much and so much shifting, good or bad, everywhere, it feels like. Do you feel like this is kind of more relevant work or more important work for people to do than it ever has been before? It just feels really like a powerful time energetically.
Yeah, for sure. Like it's before, and I'm saying like, generations back, there was only certain people that could go into the records, even though everyone has their own records. You had to be at a certain point in your soul progression or in your lifetime to go into it. And but now, no matter who you are or how enlightened or not you are, you have access to your records if you so choose to go in there. So it's given to everybody alive right now, in this 2025, 2026 kind of era. Like they can all go into their records. And I think from my work that it's because there's this huge shift coming, this huge change is coming. And I've got a lot of clients that they are being told that they are, and kind of sounds really like wow, but it's like they're like these sort of way showers. They're these sort of souls that are bringing in the energy and anchoring it in. And one of my clients, she's actually holding back the waves, is what they told her, because this huge wave of change is coming, and she's holding it back so that other people can catch up and other people can heal not just their selves and their soul, but like generational and ancestral traumas and things like that. They can go through all of this healing process so that once the sort of wave comes, we can all go in to like this better place and this better mentality and this better way of living, because we've chosen to help ourselves, to heal ourselves, and also our lines, right? Our ancestors, especially as a woman, the mother line. So, if you're a woman, your mom and then your maternal grandmother and her mother going all the way back. It's a very, very strong line. And so if you can heal that, you're pretty much there, but you can do all of your ancestry as well. And it's just such a beautiful way of allowing everybody to help souls that weren't able to, that aren't around now, that weren't able to help themselves in their lifetimes. And you can just sort of cleanse it all so that we can then go into something better, because we're going from like an I and a my and that kind of ego-driven self, like how do I survive, the like lower chakra kind of stuff, that survival instinct, into a more like we and unified. And how can me helping others help me, right? How can the collective consciousness and the collective healing not only help everybody but help myself as well, and help the world and all of this stuff. So we're going to go from that self to the community, which is really, really beautiful.
I just could not love this more.
You could feel from head to toe during.
I know. I know so many people in our community that are going to freak out over this.
Mhm.
All right, so you said it's open to everybody. I personally am like a person that I suck at meditation. I can't, like my monkey brain just does not let me go there. So what about people who feel blocked or disconnected from their intuition? How do you get them to begin to trust themselves and do this process?
Well, funnily enough, I actually do an intuition session or a group of sessions in the Akashic Records, which seems really silly, right? Because if you've got trouble with your intuition, but we're going into the records. But like because I'm doing it with somebody, I find that that really helps them because I don't just say, okay, and now we're going to go in your records and we're in your records. I do this whole kind of process with people where it gets them relaxed, it gets them sort of connected, and then I take them along this sort of pathway and I'm asking questions to see how well they're visualizing, how well they're accessing and stuff like that. And some people they see stuff or hear stuff, some people even smell and taste and touch and all the senses kind of thing. Other people, they don't visually see anything. They just kind of like know or they hear it, right? There's something where they're like, so I don't see it, but the answer is this, or I don't see it, but I know I'm in a library, that kind of stuff. And so it's all about the beginning bit is for me to gauge where you are and what you're seeing. And if you are good at imagination as well, but you're struggling, I will tell you to just imagine. Imagine a pathway, imagine some trees, imagine a library, imagine this, just to sort of get those juices flowing, and then we get you in. But if you have no imagination at all, it doesn't matter either, because I can coach you in a different way then to get you to get the most out of your time there. So when you're doing it with someone like me that's actually coaching you through, then you're actually being guided a little bit more until you actually get more comfortable and are able to go in for yourself and ask your guides all the questions for yourself. If you're doing it by yourself and you struggle, or you're doing it like, the online kind of meditations, like the YouTube kind of ones, like literally just relax. I know that sounds really silly, but just breathe, just allow thoughts to come in, even if they're just random ones about what you're going to have for dinner that night or something. Just literally just allow yourself to have the thoughts come in, no judgments, allow them to go if they're nothing to do with your question, and just keep practicing like that. Or like have a focal point, have a crystal or a tarot card or a plant or something. So have something to focus on. And so when you feel your mind wandering, you just bring it back to the focal point, bring it back. And then you can just train yourself, like with anything, train yourself to have that sort of awareness and that listening. And then you might find that pictures start coming in or stuff like that, because imagination helps with this for sure, because people think, oh, imagination means it's not true. But it's not. There's this very thin line between imagination and spiritual reality, right? And stuff like that, or even reality here, like manifestation kind of thing, like bringing in stuff to the physical. But so if you can just trigger the imagination, or you can trigger that kind of like third eye kind of stuff a bit more, then it allows you to have that bridge a lot better into your record. So again, it's just a muscle that you need to train, that you need to understand and get comfortable with. And just don't go in with any judgments. Don't go in with any sort of self-criticism or stuff. Just go in and see what happens. And it might not make sense at the time, but write it down anyway, or voice record it anyway, and then see, if that made sense later on in a few days or a few weeks or something. It's really, really interesting, the different types of people going into their records, because everybody can and does do it. I only had one person not do it, and that's because she was a case study when I was learning and she didn't want to do it. Like she signed up for some reason and then decided she didn't want to do it but didn't cancel, and just sat there and said, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know, and didn't try. But anybody else, even people that don't have imaginations, have come to me and said, oh, I won't be able to do it because I can't visualize anything. And I said, okay, well, let's try it. sure enough, they've gone in and they've had a wonderful time. They've got their answers and they've gone in for themselves afterwards. So it's not a prerequisite to get in.
Right. Good.
What's the most powerful thing you've learned about yourself working with other people doing this?
Oh, I think it gave me the confidence to and the understanding of my place in helping people. So it's not at all from this ego-driven, like, oh, I'm the best and I'm going to take you into your records. Or I'm not even going to take you. I'm going to tell you what I see because I'm the oracle kind of thing. It's like this kind of quiet sort of background thing. And I'm sort of there, like they're on the stage, the theatre stage, and I'm backstage and I'm sort of just making sure that it's all working all right and that everybody's in their place and the lighting's good and all this kind of stuff. And I'm sort of just very, very slightly helping out in the background, whereas like it's all about them, right? It's all about their empowerment and their answers and their self-discovery and their ability to shine and to grow. So for me, I would say from just working with clients is it's really made me just realize that I don't need to be there to help them, but the people need to know that I'm there and need to know that I'm like the safety net sometimes. And it's helped me to coach better, to guide people better, and to tap into that soul mission for myself of that's my job is to not go in and say this is how you do it and this is the only way to do it and follow me, I know the way and I'm so awesome. It's like it's not about me, it's about them in the moment. It's their thing and let's guide them into their adventures and their transformative. Yes. Yeah.
So what's next for you? Do you have new offerings or projects that you're excited about? And how can people get in touch with you?
Well, I'm always learning, as I said at the beginning. So since March this year, I have been doing astrology. And then I think August, I started human design because I wrongly assumed that human design was also had astrology in it. So it was going to be really easy just to like bring that in. And didn't realize like content entanglement and like hiking and oh my gosh, it was just like so it's complicated, but it's fun. But all that to say is I'm developing this customer experience coaching thing where everybody comes and they have to do the astrology natal chart and the human design body graph, 2 sessions at the beginning. And then that's like the foundation. And so from there, we get an idea of your blueprint, right? So then I've always got your blueprint. I know how you like information presented to you, how you like to interact with the world, all of this stuff, right? Your soul missions, everything, I've got that. And so from there, then you can then go on and you can do more of those 2 things. You can do tarot cards, oracle cards, Reiki, Akashic Records, all of these good things in a coaching kind of thing to for one thing that you've got a problem with or you want to understand more or a multitude of stuff. And we go through this whole thing. But at the base of it, I have this foundation. So I know I can tailor everything to you. So that's what I'm super excited about right now is this new customer experience or client experience coaching modality extraordinary.
That sounds incredible. So how
I
do
know.
people get in touch with you to
Oh,
uh,
so I'm on social media. So I'm on Facebook, which is Ember Healing, Ember as in the embers of a fire. And on Instagram, I am Holistic Becca. So either of those people can contact me on, and those are nice and easy because at the top it's my link tree, and so the website's there, and my email's there, and everything's there. Freebies and stuff are all there. So it's probably the best is to go there, and then you can discover the rest of my world.
I want to live in your world.
Absolutely. So one last two-part question. What's your dream for yourself and what's your dream for women?
So for myself, I love travel and I love exploration and helping people in the process. So I actually, for a number of reasons, haven't done that for like a decade. So as of next year, I'm gonna go and explore again and travel again. And my whole dream is to just be this sort of nomad for a little while and like the gypsy lifestyle, but like, pretty much, yeah, the gypsy lifestyle with the fortune telling stuff. But like carry on doing like this kind of work online because it's so easy to do online, right? Like especially Akashic Records and tarot reading and stuff is so easy online. And so that's my big thing for the future is just to expand more and to travel and to have that own self growth. Because I went through this whole self-love journey and that's just going to be a continuation of that for next year. And for women, I think it's very, very important to tap in to themselves because society has told us what we need to do. They've told us all of this stuff. And yes, that might be exactly what you personally need. But for a lot of women, that's not who they are. And there's like a disconnect with what society is telling them they should be and what they feel they should be. And they don't feel like that they can do both, and they go with the society one because acceptance of the masses, right? Or like I have to do this because I have to I have to live in society, I can't go within. So for me, I would say it's very, very important for women to kind of go inward again and discover what it is that lights them up. What who are they at the core? Who do they want to be in the future, and how can they get there? Like it shouldn't be something that is pushed to one side. It shouldn't be something that you neglect because the woman is extremely powerful. Like every stage of a woman's life is an enhancement of energy and self-discovery and power. Like if women knew how powerful they were, like it would just be such a different world, I think. So yeah, my encouragement is to whatever way you want to do it is just go inward and discover who you are and what your journey should be and how you're going to live that, how are you going to bring that into the world, but also at the same time take care of yourself, take care and love yourself and shine sort of inside out.
Thanks for listening to the Passionistas Project podcast. As real-life sisters, best friends, and business partners, we know how rare it is to have a built-in support system. But we also know that so many women, activists, solopreneurs, and purpose-driven people are out there doing it alone and wishing they had a community like ours. That's exactly why we created the Passionistas Project Sisterhood, a space where support, trust, and authenticity come first. When you join, you become part of our extended family. You'll get the tools you need to grow your business, develop personally, and create real social impact. You'll also learn from our Power Passionistas, leaders, changemakers, and experts who share their wisdom on everything from letting go of perfectionism to embracing community and stepping fully into your purpose. Whether it's through online meetups, chat spaces, Passionistas TV and the Passionistas Podcast Network, or our exclusive workshop series, you'll be surrounded by like-minded women and gender non-conforming folks who are just as passionate as you are about living with purpose and making a difference. Visit thepassionistasproject.com to join our free membership and become part of this growing global sisterhood of passionate changemakers. We'll be back next time with another inspiring passionista who's breaking down the barriers and defining success on her own terms. Until then, stay passionate.